how you prepare for a golf tournament?
Well, I hit balls maybe 20 minutes, putt a little bit, smoke 4 or 5 cigarettes, drink 3 Diet Cokes, and go to the first tee. Some days I won't even go to the range.
Episode 162 of the Daily Puck Drop, hashtag DPD. Hopefully everybody's weekend was terrific as we find you here on Monday, June 17th. We are firing up for another week of the Daily Puck Drop, the DPD, which you can watch anywhere on all these platforms. Well, I guess anywhere. You can watch it on one. That would be YouTube. You can devour it on any of these platforms. So YouTube, of course, Apple, Spotify, and it's important, and I'm going to remind you until we're all blue in the face. Please like and subscribe and leave comments. That is the best way to drive up. It helps me personally that you subscribe and like and leave as many comments as you possibly can. All right. Hopefully, all you fathers out there had a wonderful Father's Day. We'll get to that in Hey What the Puck. And everybody enjoyed themselves, whatever you did. Maybe you lounged around, you got yourself a nap in, you were left alone. Doesn't matter what it was, as long as you, Dad, had a good time. All right, what are we going to cover today on the Daily Puck Drop? As we do this every single day, if you're just joining us for the very first time, my name is Jason Puckett. Welcome. We do this every single day. We give you about 30 minutes of hard-hitting sports talk. And then, of course, we just recap everything that happened over the weekend or the previous night and get you set for what's happening today in the world of sports here. Yes, that's a hard copy of a newspaper, and I read it every single day. God, it's just glorious. Something different about the paper today. It had like a different, like a paper used. It's more smooth today. Divish, can you find out what the hell happened to the paper? No, I like it. Whatever it was used, whatever kind of paper was used today was wonderful. We've got M's, a golf meltdown, preview of a golf championship that's happened. Thought on the Apple Cup tickets, because there's been a lot of back and forth about Apple Cup tickets and yada, 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 and everyone's bitching and moaning about it. We'll try to make sense of it coming up today here on the Daily Puck Drop. It is a Monday. That means you're going to hear from Jim Duquette, Sirius XM, MLB Network Radio, coming up a little bit later. We'll release that later today. I've been releasing them at 1 o'clock. Some of you have asked them to be released earlier. We'll play it by ear. But whenever it's released on Apple and Spotify and YouTube. That's how you can get all of the daily episodes and podcasts that we release here at Puck Sports. Of course, the website is up. If you don't know, pucksports.com. You can always go there, leave a comment, an email, puck@pucksports.com. We put a lot of, all of our content is up there, by the way, at pucksports.com, including we got a blog up there as well that we put up, videos and thoughts up there pretty much every single day. Let's start before we get to the Mariners, and we'll get to that because it was a statement win for the Seattle Mariners. But I do got to spend some time here on the U.S. Open. Maybe some of you aren't the biggest golf fans in the world, but you tune into the majors, and you will appreciate, I think, what transpired yesterday. Just agonizing. Agonizing on so many different levels. One, no one wanted to win the damn thing as it was winding down, except for finally Bryson making an incredible shot. I mean, an incredible golf shot out of the bunker. They said it on the broadcast. Brandel Chambly said it right before he hit it. And this is true for anyone, but he was talking about the pros. These pros do not like to hit that shot. 45 to 55 yards. It was a 55-yard shot. Bunker. That just no one likes that. I mean, just think about it. How many times have you been in a bunker where you've been 40 or 50 yards away? It's just a hard goddamn shot. And it's even hard for those guys. So it's there, as Brandel noted on the broadcast, who, by the way, did an excellent job this weekend and this week covering the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open coverage itself was terrible. Just way too many commercials. And the playing through thing, we can't have playing through and have the commercial on one side and then showing an important golf shot on the other, especially in the final round. It just can't happen. And they finally went, I think it was the last hour, commercial free. It just, the whole damn final round should be commercial free. I just want to watch golf shots, and I don't want them to come back and say, well, While you were away, Patrick Cantlay, who's one off the lead, had this approach at number 4. Like, I shouldn't miss Patrick Cantlay's shot or Rory's shot or Bryson's shot or Pavone's shot. I should never miss any of those guys' shots. Okay, I got sidetracked there. A little bit of a rant on that coverage. But Brando was great. But that was just an amazing shot by Bryson DeChambeau. Just sensational. With everything on the line in the championship. After pushing it left on 18, he's under a tree. He's got not a branch. He's got a root. I couldn't even think of the word. He's got a root that's sitting right there that he's got to try to avoid. He hits it into the bunker. Now you're thinking, oh my God, he's hit it into the bunker. If Rory taps in for par, there's a likelihood that Bryson DeChambeau is gonna bogey that, and he's gonna lose the damn thing. And you never want to see, like in these situations, you want to see someone go win a championship. And I think it was partly true yesterday. I think there was moments where Bryson DeChambeau won the championship, but I think a lot of it was because Rory McIlroy just handed it to him. You can't discount Bryson scrambling nonstop throughout the day. I mean, how many times did he push his ball right, but somehow, in a miracle, was able to get out of those hairy situations and make something happen? I mean, it's incredible that he can play a round of golf, especially in a championship round of golf, with hitting really just one shot. He just hits a draw. He doesn't hit anything else. But he was able to scramble his ass off yesterday. And then for Rory, he just fell apart. It's you can't call it anything other than an absolute meltdown, choke job, whatever you want to say. That's why he got into his courtesy car and hightailed it out of there. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to kill him for it, and I get it. I understand it. I certainly get the side of it. You've got to address the media, answer all the questions and such. I also get the human side of it, that is without a doubt probably the most, well, besides the Masters, shocking, disheartening loss of his career. He had the thing wrapped up. He was going to win his 5th major, join an exclusive club of winning 5. He was about to end his 10-year drought of not winning a major, and he just completely fell apart. He did something that he hadn't done on the tour all season long, missed 2 putts within inside 4 feet. You don't deserve to win a championship or any golf tournament when you are 3 over on the final 3 holes. You don't deserve to win it. He missed two putts inside 4 feet. The 16th hole, that was the one when you look. You'll remember the 18th because of the significance of it. The one on 16, as DeChambeau had just bogeyed, by the way. So here he is on 16. DeChambeau is bogeyed. He's about to get another shot up on him. And really, you would say probably put a stranglehold on the tournament. And he bogeys it. And he blasted the damn thing. He just blasted that thing by the hole. And it was 3 feet away. The mistake on 17, hits it into the bunker. The mistake on 18, he had been driving the ball beautifully all day long. And then on 18, when he just needs to put one in the middle of the fairway, hits it left. So as much as you celebrate Bryson DeChambeau winning the U.S. Open, his second, first since Wingfoot back in 2020, this time in front of fans, this tournament will be remembered that Rory McIlroy choked away the U.S. Open. And maybe his best chance of ever winning another major again. I mean, he's got plenty of time and left in his career. But how much more scar tissue can one person take? How much more water can he take on the McIlroy boat? He has been asked about the pressure of winning another one, the length of time between the majors. Of course, every question that he has to answer every time he goes back to Augusta to complete the career Grand Slam. He's got to answer all of it. I don't know how an athlete or how a guy like Rory McIlroy recovers from this. I don't know. He talked about last year being in the Open Championship when he lost to Cam Smith and had control of it. Again, he was in complete control of that tournament that day. I mean, it was just, but played so conservative. Remember all the two putts he had, but he didn't go out and seize it. Cam Smith did go out and seize it. And he said how much he had cried after that one. I have no idea what he's going to do after this thing. Because when you have it in your hands, you have the U.S. Open, your first major in 10 years in your hands, and you make the mistakes that he made down the stretch where you're baffled by it. I mean, even the chip shot on 18. Yeah, I mean, I guess it was a good shot, but a mistake to leave it not below the hole. Just devastating. Absolutely devastating. But on the flip side of it, let's praise Bryson DeChambeau for a lot of things. One, he has been a figure, on the golf world that I think a lot of people did not like him. Aloof, odd, very technical. A lot of people don't like his swing or how he sets up. I hate how he putts, but he putts his ass off. But he looks so rigid and tight. I've always appreciated Bryson, despite him going to live and doing all that stuff. But I always appreciated Bryson because he does his own thing. He doesn't listen to other people. He does himself, right? He doesn't care what other people say about him or how other people go about their business. He plays the way he wants to play. That's refreshing. I like it. Unique swing, unique personality, and all of that. But he never had this reputation when he was on the tour, PGA Tour, of being kind of was salty and standoffish, it seemed like, but he never had this reputation of this engagement with fans. Now, whatever transformed him to become that way, there's no doubt that some marketing person or PR person got in his head and told him and advised him, hey, you're on the Live Tour now. A lot of people don't like you. You need to start being a little bit more approachable, and let's start using social media as that way for you to approach your fans and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. Let's do some videos. Let's humanize you. And that's fine. I know some people have criticized, well, it's just all an act. How about it's just him changing and deciding, hey, I need to be a little bit more human out there. I need to be a little bit more of the entertainer, because that's what it is at the end of the day, too. I mean, it is golf and it's sports, but there's entertainment involved in it. I mean, Arnold Palmer was one of the greatest golfers of all time. He understood, though, how to entertain and engage the crowd. It was something that Tiger got knocked for early in his career. He didn't do that. He's done it a little bit better, I think, later in his career, connecting with the players and the fans and all that. It's something that Phil Mickelson, it's weird how it's come full circle. It's something that Phil Mickelson did a ton of early in his career. A ton of. And still, I guess, a little bit to this day. But, he's looked at a little bit differently because of the whole live thing. I like how Bryson engages with the fans. I like the gestures and the wiping of the forehead after saving a tough par shot, playing to the crowd, playing to the camera. That's fun. There was a moment, I think it was on Saturday. I can't remember which hole that is. Is it 15 where he's caught in between driver and a 3-wood, or an iron? I think a long iron, and everybody wanted him to hit driver. And he was debating it and going back and forth with his caddy, and then went back to go grab the iron. And he just turned to the crowd. Again, he's in the mix. This is Saturday. He's right there for the U.S. Open, and just turns to the crowd and goes, "Sorry, don't hate me for what I'm about to do." But little stuff like that, boy, it doesn't take much for these athletes. Just engage a little bit. This is for all athletes. Doesn't take much to engage a little bit and get these people on your side. And a lot of those people maybe didn't like Bryson because of what has happened with Liv and the state of golf, but he has turned those people over. And it just was a great shot. It as much as it will be remembered for Rory choking it away, it should be remembered for an incredible bunker shot from 55 yards out to put it in tap-in distance with the U.S. Open on the line. That will, and he said it afterwards, it's the shot of my life. Damn right it is. And it was also really cool that he hangs out there. He goes back there when they're doing live from the U.S. Open on the Golf Channel. Go check it out. In fact, I put it up on the blog page at pucksports.com if you want to go check it out. If you haven't seen it, he went back there. Johnson Wagner, of course, works for the Golf Channel and always relives all these shots. A big shot from every single tournament. And lately, it's been a disaster for Johnson Wagner. He's like just chunking shots, hitting off the hosel left and right. But he put himself in there, and he recreated the shot from Bryson. In fact, it was a better shot that Johnson Wagner made. But go check it out. It's really cool. Pucksports.com under the blog page. It was a thriller of a U.S. Open. It had a ton of drama, and it just had heartbreak, and then it just had jubilation there with Bryson DeChambeau. All right, over to the Mariners. Statement win for them, no doubt about it. Big-time message sent to Texas. They're now 43-31 on the season. They're 12 games over 500. They have distanced themselves from the Rangers and told the Rangers, this is our division. This is our division to lose right now, and we're going to take it from you. Despite you being the defending World Series champs, we're going to win it. They're up 8.5 right now, and they don't seem to be slowing down. It's the largest lead in any division right now, which is just crazy. Because what do we do here? Me included, we sit here and bitch and moan about the state of this offense. And yet, 12 games over 500, largest lead in the division, and their offense still, as we record this on Monday, June 17th, hasn't even scratched the surface of how good it could be. Kudos to the fans. All 3 games, the energy inside that baseball stadium was incredible. And the players talked about it afterwards, how much that makes a difference. And it does. I mean, it's not like football, but players do react to the amount of people that are inside the stadium rooting for them. You play off of it. And when there's 40,000 plus people there all rooting for you, that's going to impact them more than, 15,000 when it's cold outside. I thought the crowds were engaged. They were in from it from the get-go, getting up on 2 strikes, getting up the 2 outs, all of it. They make a huge difference. And that was really, really cool to see, especially because it was such a big series against the Rangers. Just looking at yesterday, going back to Friday, Castillo didn't have his best stuff, but still managed to get through it. Kirby was great on Saturday, and then Logan Gilbert was just freaking sensational on Sunday. The other thing to note on Sunday was really setting the tone early was Josh Rojas in that 14-pitch at-bat there in the first inning. Now, ultimately didn't do any damage out of it, but to drive up Drew Dunning's pitch count and to get into that and make him work, really set the tone offensively there for the Mariners that they pulled out that win yesterday. We mentioned Logan Gilbert. I mean, he finally gets some run support. I mean, did you see the stat? They had it in the paper. He was averaging 2 runs a game, 2.2 runs a game, his offense when he pitched. He ends up getting 5 yesterday. And when he gets 5, it's over. 8 innings, 2 hits, 9 strikeouts. How about the Mariners starters in the series? They allowed 7 runs total in 20 innings. 2 earned runs, 3 walks. They struck out 22. They've got the 4th best record in the American League, the 7th best record in baseball. And I think a lot of us just sit here and go, I don't know how they're doing it. I mean, we all know how they're doing it. They're doing it because their pitching staff is remarkable. But it's weird how we look at them, because I was watching MLB Central this morning, and they're just gushing over the team. And then you get here in this town, and I'm guilty of this too. I'm not blaming anyone else. And we want to find all the warts and the deficiencies with the baseball team. We know it better than the national guys, so we know where they struggle at. And we probably I know I spend probably too much attention on that. It could be a glass half empty feel to it instead of just enjoying what they're doing right now. And I was like that in the beginning of the season too. I think why we focus so much on the perceived negativity, I guess, or they got to get a bat, they've got to get offense. And they said that this morning also on MLB Central. So it's also being seen on a national level. It doesn't take much. They don't need to average many more runs. A half a run more a game, and with the way this staff is going, they ain't going to lose. They're not going to happen. And they're getting better. They got great news with Brian Wu. He's going to come back on Wednesday in that series against the Guardians. So great news there for Brian Wu, because there was a thought that maybe, there was a thought that maybe he would be the injury would be worse for him. But it was not. MRI came back clean, so great news there. Their bullpen could be hopefully getting some help soon. We'll see the progress of Munoz. Seems to be getting better. He was going to be up yesterday, but then they added on the more runs, so they didn't use him. Smart decision there by Scott Service. Smart decision also to sit there and move that rotation around to have the ability to have Castillo, Kirby, and Gilbert going against Texas. Now, part of that was because of obviously the injury there to Brian Wu, but they still made the decision to move things around and gave their best three pitchers against their main rival right now in their division. Gregory Santos threw a bullpen yesterday. They hope he's ready by mid-July. So good news coming on the bullpen front. Probably ramp up Logan Evans, getting ramped up even more. So help could be on the way in the bullpen. It was also another great weekend for the Bet M's Under Summer Tour continues. One of these days I'll be able to nail that. But it is a mouthful. The Bet M's Under Summer Tour. 2-1 over the weekend. Overall, 22, 21, and 2. And you're wondering what the hell's going on. Well, we are betting on the under every single Mariners game. Betting on the under. And so no game today, so we won't have to give you the total. But right now, overall season record, 22, 21, and 2. I would ask Mariner fans this, and you can leave a comment below. I mean, how do you feel about this Mariners team right now? What does your gut tell you about this team? Are you glass half full? Or are you glass still half empty? Are you worried that somehow, some way, the pitching is going to run out and that this offense eventually will have to pick them up, and you're not confident the offense can pick them up? Are you confident that they're going to pull off a big trade at the deadline? Where are you at right now? How do you feel about the state of Mariners baseball? Because I think it feels like two crowds. One crowd that kind of talks about it a lot, and then you see it on social media and kind of points out maybe the warts of the team and the ways where they can get better at. And then you see these crowds this past weekend, and it's hysteria going on right now, it seems like, with this baseball team. But where are you at right now with this baseball team? We've called them maddening all season long, and they are flawed. But they are probably the best description, a maddening, flawed, fun team. That's probably the best way to put it. Day off, and then they start a series there with the Cleveland Guardians. We mentioned there's more golf. This week is the KPMG Women's PGA Championship at Sahalee. Go to the website, the KPMG PGA Championship website. Tickets are nothing. They're like $30 or $40 to get in. Cool event. Go see some of the best players in the world there for the women. There'll be a shuttle bus there, so I think Merrimore Park is taking you in. I think tickets are $40. I mean, it's just dirt cheap to get in there and go see some of just incredible golfers. And if you got young kids, take them there and have them look at the way these women swing the clubs, because it's just incredible how they do it. They're just incredible athletes. The tempo, their short game, their putting, all of it. They don't just gout bomb it 350 yards, down the fairway or into the rough and then punch it out. These women work themselves around the golf course. So that's what's taking place this week at Sahalee, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. This Apple Cup ticket fiasco, we were going to touch on it last week. We didn't get to it. So it was a pre-sale of Apple Cup tickets that's going to be held at Lumen Field September 14th this year. UW has apparently sold about 18,000 tickets. Washington State has sold, I think, over 1,000. 1,700, I think, is the number, some idea, or something like that. Now, part of it is this isn't open to the public yet. Now, based on the pre-sale tickets, I believe it was open to season ticket holders and then also people associated with the athletic fund. So at least that group right now, Washington outpacing Washington State. But again, I'm not going to freak out about this story. And I know Coug fan was pretty critical of the fan base, and I get it. I'm not going to freak out about it until this actually opens up to the public, and we'll see then, what the public will do. But the tickets don't open up. I mean, general tickets don't open up until June 18th. So let's wait and give it a week and see where we're at. Now, if it still lags behind, and based on kind of where they're right now, I mean, UW will outpace Washington State. Let's say they get 65,000 people. I never thought it would be even Steven anyways. I mean, even though there are a lot of alums from Washington State that live in Seattle, the majority of them, there's still more Husky ones, and it's a bigger school. So I've always thought that there's going to be more Husky fans there. Now, by this discrepancy, maybe not that much. I do think it shows you, though, because I think part of the piece on Coug Fan was, hey, you need to get out there and support your team, and this is pathetic, and it's embarrassing and all that. There is a large group of fans, myself included. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm not going to go because, when push comes to shove and my family's like, we want to go, it's right there. I probably, if I'm being honest, and again, all sports fans can be hypocritical here, I will probably go. But I didn't want it to continue. I didn't. I know a lot of people did, but there are a lot of fans, and yes, they're hurt and bothered by it, and you can call it butthurt, whatever you want. There's a lot of Washington State fans that are just bothered by Washington's role in all of this. Whether, again, if you're a Husky alum or fan, don't take offense to this. Whether you agree with it or not, it's the perception of people in my alumni and my fan base that feels that way. And so there's a lot of animosity. And I think this year there probably will be a lower turnout because I think there's a lot of Cougar fans that simply just didn't want the game to continue. They tried to tell you that. They were pretty vocal that they didn't want it to continue based on how the former president or soon-to-be former president handled things. And they didn't think that Washington State should be involved in it anymore. On the flip side of it, I get it from the WSU side of things. It's revenue. They need revenue. They needed to play the game. And I think as we get closer to the game, and tickets here's the other thing about the tickets, the presale tickets, they're absurdly high and ridiculous. Just embarrassingly high. Those are going to come down. And I think once that price comes down, I think you'll see more Cougar fans buy them up. And I also think as we get closer to the game, I think you're going to see more and more of them say, okay, I'll go. The pull of it will bring me in. But I also think there's going to be a lot of fans that don't want to go. And I think you got to respect that. They just didn't want the game to be played anymore. But let's see where the ticket figures get here in the next few weeks. All right. NBA Finals, Game 5 tonight. Celtics going for their 18th title. It was just remarkable. And they can do it at home. It's weird to see both the NBA Finals and NHL, the Stanley Cup Finals, kind of take the same turn, right? Looks like it's going to be a sweep. And then the home team, Edmonton, did it this past weekend, was at 8-1. And then, of course, the Mavericks did it where they won by 38. So 2 blowouts there in that Game 4. We'll see if the Mavericks can make it a series and win another game. No team has ever come back from 3-0, but it feels like the Celtics tonight. Lackluster performance in Game 4, a little bit tired, and I think probably mentally checked out a little bit. And they probably most likely will wrap it up tonight at home because if Kyrie Irving can't deliver in Boston, which he has never won since going back there, likely won't pull it off. 5:30 at Tips tonight. All right, hey, what the puck? As we wrap up the Daily Puck Drop, the DPD, Father's Day recap. It was a good day. Woke up, read the paper, kind of lounged around. We threw the old ski boat in the water, kind of took a tour around the lake, was fingers crossed that the thing would start in the water, and it amazingly did. I was saying to myself as we were taking it down to the boat launch, this is probably the worst thing to do on Father's Day. Anybody that has ever had a boat or owned a boat, has ever been to a boat launch with your family, understands the dynamic of the family boat launch. Nothing, for the most part, ever comes good from the entire family at the boat launch putting a boat into the water. There's a lot of screaming and yelling and muttering under your breath, and you're not doing this. Kids, be quiet. I'm backing up. It's very chaotic. But it was wonderful, without a hitch. It was great. Threw it in, took a stroll over to one of our favorite spots. God, there's nothing better than that Ivers on Lake Union. You pull up there, you tie up, go get yourself some fish and chips. Wonderful sitting outside. It was great weather. A lot of dads there, too. It was really cool to see. So we had a wonderful day. Came back, had recorded the U.S. Open, watched it on delay, which, by the way, I absolutely hate that. It just drives me nuts. I want to be watching it at the same time everybody else is, but we had to watch it on delay. It was okay. But did that and then just kind of lounged around. The kids, wonderful job. Pork chops, great pork chops, great gifts, good ice cream. It was just a wonderful day to kind of be hanging out with the kids. And I hope everybody else had a wonderful Father's Day. Whatever you did, maybe you went to the Mariners game, whatever activity he did, went out and played golf. I saw Brad Adam went out and played golf with his dad and his brothers, but just a good time all the way around. You know what, dads? We get very few days. And you know what? We get one, and that's good. And that's probably all we should probably get. Charles Barkley, how about this news over the weekend on Hey, What the Puck? Says next season his last on TV, 25 years, and he's done. Regardless what happens with the next NBA deal, he is finished with television. He said this after the Game 4 on NBA TV, that he wanted everyone to hear it from him first. He wants to hand the baton over to Jamal Crawford or Steve Smith or Vince Carter. But if he indeed is telling the truth that next season will be the last for him on television, boy, it's going to make you tune in every single Thursday to Inside the NBA. Because when he's done and that show is done, you're talking about the single greatest studio show, maybe besides College Game Day. I put it ahead of College Game Day, that sports television has ever seen. It'll be a loss there for the sports community. We're going to talk about this next story with Canzano coming up on Tuesday's show, but the Big 12 is close to having its naming rights, and I think the rumor is All-State. So it'll be the All-State Conference, the All-State 12 Conference, or I think they're just going to just call it the All-State Conference and just take the Big 12 out of it. It's remarkable how much stuff people are going to start selling, because we're talking about logos on the field now, logos on the field replacing the logo at midfield. Because I think some people are getting confused. Well, is it a logo like on the 25-yard line? Because we've seen that with the Apple Cup with Boeing being there. No, they're talking about replacing the logo like at midfield. Right? So for Husky fans, like that W, it would be gone and be replaced by a Starbucks logo. I think there gets to be a certain point, and I understand money, where it can be too much. I think, for me, the logo of the school at midfield being replaced by an advertising logo is too much. That's just me. I think that's too much. This conference thing is crazy. I mean, what the hell would the Pac-2, what are they going to rename it? I can't even think of anything. Who's going to rename the Pac-2 conference? But you've heard a lot of people talk about this. This is the future. You've heard people mention in this industry that they're going to start selling the athletic departments, that it's not going to be the Washington Athletic Department anymore or the Washington State Athletic Department, that it's going to be the Starbucks or Amazon Husky Athletic Department or the Giesa Cougars Athletic Department. I mean, they are selling everything, including the naming rights to the conference. We'll get more information on that tomorrow with John Canzano. Finally, shout out, and you know what? Good for them. And every school, and I don't know about the other districts, but Seattle, this is going to be the first one for Seattle, but everyone should do this. Hamilton Middle School in Seattle is going to ban the use of cell phones for students in the fall. First school in the district to do so. And they'll walk into the school. If you've ever been to a concert, I went to a concert last year with Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. And you had to put it in that pouch, and they zip it up. They'll do that. They'll put it in a pouch, zip it up, they give it to you, and then they lock it, and then you can't open it up until you leave school, and then they'll unlock it for you. Kudos. Great job. Should be no cell phones in schools. Should be no, even at the high school level. Nothing. It's hard enough to teach nowadays. You don't need all these kids distracted with their goddamn cell phones nonstop. And plus, they're cheating on them. Good for Hamilton Middle School. All right, coming up later today on Puck Sports, Jim Duquette, Sirius XM, MLB Network Radio. Also, Bill Kruger talking all things Mariners. Stay tuned for those to be dropped later today at Puck Sports YouTube channel. Also, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. All right, that's it for the Daily Puck Drop, the DPD, every single day at 10 a.m. We'll talk to you tomorrow. As always, we promise to be better.
No shoes, no dice.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!